You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Cricket Podcast, where we're going through our IPL team previews. We're about to get to Delhi, which will be our fifth team. So this is about the halfway point. We've talked about Mumbai, Punjab, Gujarat, Lucknow. It's Delhi's time. Delhi. Ross.
Yes. Last season, 50-50 record, won 7, lost 7. They are coached by Hemang Bandini, or Bandini, I think is probably the way you should say it. They are assisted by Matthew Mott, and they've just recently appointed Kevin Peterson as the team mentor. So, this is going to be a wild ride. Axar Patel has been named as their captain, and their kit.
Because KL Rahul didn't want it.
Yeah, apparently. So their kit, I actually don't mind the kit. If they didn't have the sponsors, it would look quite fetching, I could imagine. Red, like bright red sleeves, blue body with black pinstripes. They've gone for, which I think it's quite a vibe. It is quite a vibe. So if you like it like that, and it's made by Puma, so they're going all out this year. Overseas news, obviously, Harry Brook, the generational English talent, is out of the IPL and has been banned by the BCCI for the next 2 years from playing in the tournament. And this means they are down to only 6 overseas players because they only picked up 7 at the auction. They've got Aussie pacer Mitchell Starc. They've got South African Tristan Stubbs. They've got Aussie Jake Fraser-McGurk. Safas then come into it of Faf du Plessis and Donovan Ferreira. And then they've got Sri Lankan pacer Dushmantha Chimera. So it's a limited set of overseas players, not much flexibility there. But they do have a pretty good domestic core of players. So Akshar, as I said, is the captain. They've got Kuldeep Yadav, who Max, you kind of talked about his redemption arc and brilliant in the Champions Trophy as well. KL Rahul is in the team. Natarajan, Mukesh Kumar and Mohit Sharma are in the squad as well. And from Delhi's predictive 11, it's a little bit interesting to pull together, but I think I've just about done it. They're going to open up with Fraser-McGurk. He's probably going to be joined by Faf du Plessis. KL Rahul, I think, has to be up the order. I don't think you can have him as this kind of 5 or 6 role. You're not getting the most out of KL Rahul if you're playing him like that. So KL Rahul should be kind of in their top order, should be at 3. Axar Patel, I can imagine, will continue in his floating role, but on average, probably bat around 4 in this team, depending on the circumstance. And this is where you run into a bit of trouble. This is where they're going to have to play Tristan Stubbs. And I think Tristan Stubbs is an okay player, but he is not a build your whole middle order around player. Then you're going to have Perel, who's got, I think, a pretty amazing strike rate. He might open up. They've got there's talk about that on different things, but again, they'll have to fit him in somewhere. 7, maybe Rizvi, which isn't the best, but he played for CSK last season. Then you've got Mitchell Starc at 8, Kuldeep Yadav at 9, Mukesh Kumar at 10, Natarajan at 11, and then Mohit Sharma will probably be an impact sub in the bowling department. I think their bowling unit will cause teams problems. It's got experience, it's got variation, and it's got some genuine world-class T20 bowlers in it. But it is also aging. And I think there is a little bit of what used to be kind of Natarajan's height as a T20 player, what was Mitchell Starc's height as a T20 player, what was Mohit Sharma's as a T20 player, is on the decline. And I think that should worry some Delhi fans. I'll pause there. What are we thinking around the team, gents, for Delhi?
I think that Stubbs is quite good.
Yeah, I agree. I like Stubbs.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I had a look at his T20 stats. He had an absolutely trash SA20, like a strike rate of 120. But last year's IPL, average 54, strike rate of 190. Now he did score some junk. Yeah, he did score some junk runs in games that Delhi had lost. Like there's maybe some of those were soft runs if you were going to be.
And last year was a kind of insane year for run scoring as well.
But it's still good. Still good. So I like Stubbs, and that makes me feel more positive about Delhi than I think Ross was being, or at least on the backside. I think you did point out that the bowling was good. I actually quite like this team. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And Max, KL Rahul is going to be out for a couple of games potentially because his partner's going to give birth to his new child. So we might end up seeing Karen Nair get a game or two, which would be a bit of a throwback, wouldn't it?
It's
And
the dream.
He's
The dream
gunning
of the
for
man.
a return to England, actually, Karen Nair. So he's got his eyes set on playing in the England versus India Test match series later this summer. Max, to me, the batting feels a boom or bust, unless KL Rahul is immense.
Any side with Jake Fraser-McGurk is going down that route, isn't it? But yeah, there's similar thing. Donovan Ferreira is a similar kind of player. Tristan Stubbs is a bit that kind of player as well. I kind of I like it. I feel like I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like there might just be, I don't know, a player or two missing somewhere to make them really, really good.
Do they?
I don't know
I
if
mean,
it's
Ross,
Harry
you might be
Brook.
onto this. I think they might be a middle order player. Like, I think that Ross will probably have an 11 for us, but like Mitchell Stark should be batting 9 at best, I think.
And I
these
think he'll be
days.
batting 8 in this team.
Yeah. That's effectively what I'm driving at.
Or maybe it'll be 9 with the impact sub, but none of the impact subs are gonna.
And if you play Jake
wild.
Fraser-McGurk as well, you have to factor in that he's going to get 0 a lot. Like, he's literally just going to have no. So you're almost a wicket down in half your K. Like, when he goes off, sure, it's amazing. Like, but it's not like Travis Head where he dependably goes off. Like, he has streaks where he just gets no runs for ages. I mean, I guess they drop him if he gets no runs in 5 matches and sort it out. But like, a lot of damage can be done by an opener getting no runs in 5 matches. And if you combine that with a tail that starts a place too high, then you are making a little bit of a recipe for KL Rahul ball eating masterclass, aren't you?
But it might not be that bad for Delhi, because I think they've got a bowling lineup that potentially could protect kind of that 165, 170 scoring, and I think they do have the batting to kind of get there. But yeah, I'm not sure on how they're going to use Perel. They might well open him up, as I said, and that means that Faf would move down in the order, which could give you a bit more ballast. But has Faf really played in the middle orders in a kind of a T20 capacity? Not really.
I'm not sure you want Faf that far down either. Yeah,
and I think there is that part of like, who is providing that kind of late impetus. And I think I'm just not sure, because Axar Patel can't really do that. He hasn't really done it consistently on that basis. There's a lot of pressure then on Tristan Stubbs, and then Samir Rizvi, as I was kind of saying, like kind of at 6 and 7. That's really not what you want. So they're going to have to be smart where they use their overseas player in replacing Harry Brook, I think, in that lineup.
Who have you got a shopping list?
I've not actually got a shopping list. The only person at the moment who I think actually could do a job for this team, who is someone who can bat through the overs and offer that explosiveness, is actually Kiwi Daryl Mitchell, who I think went unsold in the thing. I think he would be quite an astute pickup for Delhi for them. But let's see if they go down that route.
What else have we got to talk about for Delhi?
Tank is what they are as a weapon. I think they are. Okay. I think there's lots going for it. There's an explosive nature to them. They've got a well-rounded unit. They've got some good armor. They're as a complete weapon. They are pretty good. However, with modern day. With modern day play, in modern day, actually drones can take them out. You've got specialist equipment that can take them out, etc. They used to be king of the castle. I'm not sure Delhi quite are in that space, but they can still do some damage in the right terrain.
They're slightly less out of date than the arquebus, but
yes.
yeah. This feels like a bit of a German Panzer. This is what this team feels like. Okay. But yeah, they can be got at though.
Cool. What else have we done? You've done the 11. What's your prediction?
I've done everything. I think they've got typically good bowling teams do well in tournaments, especially on the IPL front. I think they've got a decent bowling unit here. It could be a little bit expensive, but they've got a lot of experience, and their spin is quite possibly the best in the tournament. So I think again they're going to be in that buttercream layer, kind of 5th, 6th. I know we're kind of sitting on the fence a few of these, but their batting is just a bit too hit and miss for me. Faf and Fraser McGurk, I'm just not sure on it. KL Rahul, if you just do KL Rahul, fine, it probably works in this setup. But that lower order hitters, they've just got a gap there right now, and I'm just not sure how they're gonna fit it. But Tristan Stubbs might have another brilliant year.
I rate them slightly higher.
10-1.
I think we've talked about a few teams that we think are kind of, they've got a chance basically. We've only really dismissed Lucknow as actually bad, and I think we thought Mumbai were quite good. So of the 3 teams, so what's that? Punjab, Gujarat, and Delhi. I think Delhi are the best of those 3 teams. So if I was going to rank the 5, I would have them second best so far. Like, they're definitely not second best of. We're going to get to some better teams who won stuff and things last year, but I share your worries about their middle order power. And if we see an IPL a bit like last year, like that could be a bit of a problem. If we see, and I think probably that's more likely than not as well. I think that the powers that be have decided that an IPL with loads of 6s is the future, which is fine. Like I like 6s. That's good. then this team maybe is at a little bit of a disadvantage versus some of the teams that can just go fully bonkers the whole way down. But like the bowling genuinely is good, so they probably don't need as much firepower as some of the other teams. Like I like it. I quite like what they're going for. Kind of wouldn't be surprised though, as well, if Mitchell Stark fell to pieces and like he wasn't great at the IPL last year. I know they won the tournament and he bowled quite well in the playoffs, but he is actually pretty bad for a lot of that tournament.
Expensive, expensive.
Yeah,
and that's what I mean. I think
you've
got these players. Yeah, they're just over the hill. A couple of these players, and Nataraj and Mohit Sharma. They've had good seasons. Don't get me wrong, but can they keep on really showing out the old greatest hits? I'm not sure they can.
Yeah, cool.
So,
that's it. Delhi Capitals. I feel like we didn't talk about. We wasted some of our time on Lucknow when we should have spoken more about Delhi. So sorry, Delhi fans. I've never met a Lucknow fan. Never even heard from one. So
I don't believe they exist.
We can say screw you, Lucknow. We love you, Delhi, and that's probably a good point to leave the Capitals.